Hi, my name is Greg,
Yo, Nick. Hi.
and we are
A couple of Vancouverites, and
yeah.
we're second generation Asians, obviously.
So we're CBCs, Canadian-born Chinese,
Yeah.
and today we'll be talking about some Vancouver stereotypes.
Two words: Chinese, Asian people in general. Yeah.
So stereotype one: all rich immigrant Chinese students drive Lamborghinis.
We don't drive a Lamborghini.
But somewhat true.
Yeah.
It's
Like, if you think about it, though, like, you say like, oh, this guy drives a BMW, he's rich, but it's not true. You know, like you can get a low budget BMW for like what, 30 grand? That's like a Civic price, right? It's not about just having the brand, right? But
I mean, a lot of it's in the mind too. It's just if you see someone driving a Lamborghini, you're so much more likely to notice it versus if someone's driving, for example, a Civic or a Prius. It's
very
just
true.
you don't tend to look at who's driving those cars. So whenever you do see the 1 in 1,000 or 100,
In Vancouver,
yeah.
what are you talking about? It's like one in like every 10 cars.
Yeah, but if you do see the 1 in 10 Lamborghini here in Vancouver, it's something you're much more likely to notice.
And in Vancouver, like, some of them drive really exotic cars, so you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, stereotype number 2. All Chinese people wear Canada Gooses.
So may or may not be true, but it is a trend though.
I bought this one. It's a vest. It's a lot cheaper. Like if I bought a jacket, it's like closer to $1,300. But I was like, you know, I'm on a budget. I don't have. I'm broke, so I bought a vest.
Personal opinion here
Yeah.
that isn't really a stereotype. I think Canada Goose is one of the worst looking jacket out there.
No,
You see,
the point of them is to keep you warm. In Canada, it gets pretty chilly, eh?
but I've seen colors like red. It's like bright red Canada Goose and some guy wearing like black pants and blue sneakers. It's hard to match Canada Goose in my opinion, but they do keep you warm, so
No, they
it's
do.
a plus.
Yeah.
So, but the stereotype: do every rich Asian wear Canada Goose? I think
It's pretty.
it's
I feel like
something you see a lot.
if you don't wear it and you're in a Chinese family, I guarantee one of your family members has one.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other stereotype about cars is like white BMWs. Everyone drives a white BMW.
You do see a lot here
Yeah.
in Peru, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Number 3 would be like, we eat weird shit like dogs. Greg, have you ever eaten a dog before in your life?
I love dogs too
Oh my
much,
god.
but
Oh, I thought you were about to say you love eating dogs.
I mean, yeah, that is a big stereotype. It's just like when people are like, oh, coronavirus all started because of these damn Asians eating dogs and cats. It's just like if you go back to China, me and Nick go back to China pretty frequently. Like it only feels like it's like 1% of the population that still would eat dogs or cats. It's like, for example, if you say something radical like all Muslims are terrorists, it's just, yes, there could be like a very, 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 very small percentage, but it's just something extreme that where although there could be some cases, you blow it out of proportion. Like there's all like, for example, a lot of white people are school shooters. There could be white school shooters, but it could be anyone of any
There could
race.
be
So
Asian school shooters.
this isn't a topic we want to focus.
Yeah.
I want to highlight, but I'm just saying that you get from every population, you get certain extreme cases, and then it's not something you should focus on as extrapolation that you apply to everyone. So, do Asians eat dogs and cats? Possibly, but
I think mom and dad have though. I think dad and mom have told us before that, you know, when their family dog died. I think that was dad, but their family dog died, and you know, in China, it's not normal to waste food. You know.
yeah, my dog has my dad has a story. Not my dog has a story. My dad has a story. It's like when his dog disappeared when he was young. He was pretty sure someone like kidnapped it and ate it, but I don't know. So stereotype 4 now.
Stereotype 4. What is another stereotype that we hear quite often here?
Let's think.
I don't know. That's actually a pretty good question.
That
I think those are the big 3 for sure.
every Asian immigrant you see is rich.
Oh yeah, no,
But
I
it's
don't
like-
believe that.
Yeah, it's like some of this. It's the same case as like stereotype 1. You do have like a lot of rich Asian immigrants that come to school, but if you think about like how big China is and
Yeah.
how big their population is, it just not everyone is rich, and the ones that you do see here that aren't,
Like the
they're
1% that
yeah.
are. Like if you go to China and you just go explore, you're gonna see how poor the country actually is. Like not necessarily like, how would I explain this? There's a lot of poor people, like a lot, and like you really get a grasp of the number when you go there and actually roam around and see the different villages and like all the like wood houses with like straw roofs and stuff like that.
But it's just, I guess China has developed so much that it doesn't. When people think of China, they think of like a growing GDP. Everything's made in China. It's like you look at your jacket, you look at your shoes, it's made in China. But a lot of people don't really talk about how like in rural China, like the countryside, you have people living in. I wouldn't say that they're unhappy, but they are living extreme poverty. Like they're still farming, and I would say just looking at the places that they live in, it's all these like almost like brick and mortar, really simple homes. They don't really have much. It's just hard to say that. It's hard to actually say like every Chinese is rich, and we're talking about stereotypes, so they are exaggerated in the first place. But it's definitely eye-opening when you see some of the poorer regions of China and how different it is from, I'd say, the West. Like the West, if you think about the poor regions, they're not still farming most of the time. It's a complicated topic though. And then
on the topic of stuff being made in China, you mentioned stuff made in China is trash. Fish. Oh, we need to bleep that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, your computer keyboard probably made in China. You know, your watch, maybe not your watch, depends. Maybe you're running a Rolex or like some European brand. But like, dude, your Switch probably made in China. Your watch, I mean your mouse, let's say, but it's probably made in China. Like everything you own, most things you own, probably made in China. And like if you're gonna say that Chinese products are bad, then dude, your Razer keyboard is trash. Your I don't know what's that company that one of the biggest factories, Foxnet.
I've never actually heard.
I don't know, but they make like a bunch of molds for like a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeezys are made in China. You know, those $1,000 shoes, they have factories in China that make the pieces for each of the shoes. Like anything that's like super high end, a lot of them are made in China. So I think that stereotype is also bunk.
And actually, that's probably the fifth stereotype, but no, this one's not related to Vancouver, but it's like sort of Chinese people as a whole. When Western news organizations say that China is like this dictatorship or it's straight up communism, I would say although it's called the Communist Party of China, it's not actually quite what people think it is. Like China still is very capitalist, and just looking at like the differences you get in between, I guess, the upper class, lower class, and middle class, it's clearly not a communist society at this point. But also when people say like Chinese people have no freedoms and they have no privacy, just like whenever I go back to China, I notice like 10, 11, 12-year-old girls walking in groups at like 11 p.m. and it's just not something you would really see as much here. But the fact that parents are allowing like young girls to go out by themselves at night, like they're not going out, they're coming back from school, but the fact that parents feel
safe,
that's safe enough to let their kids do that just says a lot about, I guess, the differences in society and what people think here.
And Canada's pretty safe too, though. I mean, Vancouver, Richmond, where we're from, Vancouver, like it's relatively safe. You can walk across the street without having to worry about getting mugged or anything. We do have some ghetto areas, obviously, but for the most part, we're pretty safe. And Asians, they don't really mug each other. They're too busy in their Lamborghinis or... I'm just kidding. It's just a joke. Stereotypes. We're allowed to say that because we're Asian.
Facts for sure.
Facts.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our video. We just made this quick video in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah. Well, we're making it a thing to like maybe push out a couple videos, just talk about a bunch of stuff, but
some low budget productions.
Yeah, maybe we'll branch off into like higher budget production.
Okay.
Just
Hope
kidding.
you guys enjoy this video.
Share, like, and subscribe. Oh.